Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the Focused and Fulfilled podcast with the Busy Boss Mamas. We are super excited to be here. I am Stephanie Mitchell and my beautiful, amazing sister,
Crystal.
Crystal Borderson. And today we want to talk real quick about um self-care. Not just self-care, but investing in yourself. We all hear like, oh, you need to fill your cup first. You need to do self-care. And like, what does that even mean? Self-care. I think what you have this vision maybe of like sitting in the bathtub with a glass of wine. I don't know. What do you think of when you hear self-care, Chris?
Yeah, I think like I need to go for a massage, or I need an hour at Target by myself, or I need uh time alone in some sense by yourself, which
I think that is
is
self-care.
something, and it is self-care, but the long lasting self-care is what we want to talk about today. Like long lasting, that's going to make the biggest impact on you in the long run, not just in the moment. Because
Right.
we want to, if I could just take a shower. I mean, yeah, you hear young moms saying that all the time. I can't even take a shower. I haven't showered in 2 days. Or the, if I could just get a few minutes by myself to clean, which I mean, even as I feel that way sometimes still. But
I feel that way all the time.
the overall, well, yeah, so do I, because the house could always be clean. But overall, I think people need to look at and consider not just the right now, what will help out right now in this emergency. Like usually it's when we're super drained and we're super frustrated and stuff, but what type of self-care can we do that will make this, the spurts between the right now self-care, get further and further between, so we don't feel so drained, so we can last longer.
Right. And I think it's what leads to this lack of fulfillment that a lot of moms feel, with feeling like just this ongoing lack of fulfillment. I can't think of a better word, really. Just
Dissatisfaction, where you just,
dissatisfaction, this constant drainage
yeah.
is not taking regular time to see taking care of yourself as an investment. And that's really what the point is that we wanted to talk about today, is that you're filling your cup, your self-care, your mental health is not just a one-time deal, like, oh, I'm just going to go take a bath. Those things are great. Or I need to go get a massage, or I need to have a grocery shopping by myself. Those things are great. But you need to see your self-care as an ongoing investment that you are like being extremely intentional about. Intentionality is something that really, I feel like, is the key to feeling better in all areas of your life. Being intentional about everything you do, being intentional about the way that you respond to your husband, being intentional about the way that you respond to your kids, being intentional about the way that you speak to yourself inside, and being intentional about making sure that you are taking care of yourself every single day. And so we kind of got on this,
Worthiness.
huh?
I said recognizing your worthiness, and that it's not
Right.
selfish to invest in yourself.
Right. It's not selfish to say no to something that involves someone else in your family to make time for investing in your own self-care. That is not selfish.
Yes,
If
exactly.
you can,
Like
it's
emergency medical workers, one of the first things they're trained in is they need to make sure that they're safe and that they're performing safe things, because they can't take care of and rescue people without making sure that they're first, like,
safe.
as safe as possible. Like, a fireman's going to make sure that he's tied off before he goes down to get somebody out of a high building, or that he's tied off to whatever he needs to be. And they do run into danger and stuff, and as parents, we do what we need to, but for the most part you make sure you're safe as possible. So in the same way, we as moms need to make sure that we are as taken care of as we can be without, like, you know, going overboard. Everybody can go overboard with everything, but you know, we can't be draining
Right.
ourselves to the empty.
Yeah, it's just like how when you're on a plane, they say you put on your own mask before you put on the mask of somebody else. It's the same principle. The cliche saying of you can't pour from an empty cup is really true. You can't. You can love and desire all you want to be able to serve those around you, but if you don't have anything left, you can't do that in a truly authentic way. And so we've kind of been talking about this a lot lately, Crystal and I have, because she sent me a quote a bit back about, who was it from, Chris? Was it St. Francis de Sales?
Yeah, Francis de Sales.
Yeah, he said, well, what does it say exactly? Do you remember?
I
It
don't
says you
remember.
need like an hour of
You need
prayer a
30
day
minutes
or
of
something,
prayer
unless you're,
every day. It's
huh?
30 minutes. You need 30 minutes of prayer every day. Unless you don't have time, then you need an hour.
Okay, that's it. That's it. So, and that has got me thinking a lot, like, okay, you're so busy. So then you would think like, well, I have less time to do this for myself, or I have less time to invest in my prayer life, or um, my self-care or whatever. But the more that you are like, no, wait a second, and you make that time, it almost seems like the time opens up. So we're Catholic, it's Lent. One of the things that I've been doing is getting up earlier so that I have more time for prayer. And yes, I do have less time in the morning to do other things, but I feel overall better. And that is a conscious sacrifice, a conscious investment in time that I technically don't have, right? To get up earlier and make more time for that. But I can feel myself drawing closer to God in that, and I feel better. I feel like I have a healthier me to give to my kids throughout the day, even though maybe I didn't get as much stuff checked off my list in the morning, right? And this is why, you know, we talk about a lot about keystone habits, especially if you've gone through our focused and fulfilled in 5 days. We talk a lot about keystone habits, which are really these cornerstone things that you do that make everything so much better. That's why, like, working out is one of those things. It takes a lot of conscious effort to make time for that if you're not already in the habit of it. And it seems like it takes up more time, but for whatever reason, almost miraculously, it seems like it doesn't seem like it's taking up so much time when you actually get in the habit of doing it. Like, you feel overall better.
Yep.
And
More energy, more focus, more everything. And it's because you're doing less frittering of your day. You have less time to fritter away. And we like it. Our brain likes it. Even though
our
it's
brain
hard
likes
to
it.
do
Yeah.
it and to force yourself into it, you like it once you've done it because you've accomplished something. We like
Right.
the journey of achieving.
Yeah. And the journey, I think that as humans, we're built for better. We're wired for better. We should always be striving for something else. And you can't if you're not investing in yourself. And one thing that we were talking about earlier that Crystal pointed out is like how she's noticed like more fancy schmants coming up at the
Yeah.
stores.
Yeah. If you start walking around the Walmart and the Targets and the Costco, the stuff that they've now brought to the front is they have tons of TVs. The game boxes are right up front. They've got all the electronics are now out at front. It's because it's tax season time. And so people get their tax money, and instead of investing like into a whole array of things that could better and improve their lives, they're buying electronics. They're buying
Electronics
TV.
or a new car or
Because
whatever. Yeah.
Because what self-care is not an escape. So if what the things you're doing are as a method to escape from your life, those are the wrong things. You need to be doing stuff that, like if going and escaping away, you're going to desire that more and more every time you do it. You're going to feel it because it doesn't satisfy. So when you escape somewhere and then you come back to the chaos, you're going to feel more resentment and you're going to need a sooner hit of your escape. and then you need to escape all the time. Whereas when you are doing true self-care, it should be sustaining you for longer and longer periods of time, as opposed to making you feel like you need to escape sooner again and being like, oh man, I gotta escape this. I can't stand it. Which, I mean, we always do, but you want to be able to have a little bit more time go by in between, as opposed to, I know I feel this way. Steph and I went on a trip together, and getting back into the habit of life was very hard because it was just so nice to be gone and do I didn't have to worry I was leaving anybody in the car, or, I wasn't going around counting kids everywhere I went to make sure nobody had stolen a child or something. And, I didn't have to yell at anybody when we were at the restaurant to sit down and be quiet and not to color on the table and, all those things. And I would count that as self-care because I did feel fulfilled in a lot of other ways. But if you're going on a bunch of those trips, you start to resent your life, and you shouldn't be resenting your life. So instead of buying TVs, which you're going to sit down and be ticked off because the kids are interrupting you while you're trying to watch a show and you just want to watch your show, or you just want to look at your Facebook a little more on your brand new phone, or you just want to listen to your music with your headphones on and not have to listen to anybody ever again, maybe you should perhaps think about investing in something that will make your patience and your ability to endure the harder evenings and enjoy it more by doing some investing in yourself as opposed to in your stuff.
Right.
Yep.
And investing, like, what is it that you need to invest more in? Whether it's your time, whether it's your energy, whether it's your money. So,
or your mind.
Your mind. Like, one thing that I have one of my best friends is a therapist, and she was talking to me about like therapy, like whether it's personal therapy, marriage therapy, family therapy, whatever. She's like, it's really like, because she herself sees a therapist regularly, like it's a regular thing, and she's not super wealthy. And I always was like, geez, I can't believe like that's a regular part of your budget, because things are always tight, right? It seems like there's always so many things to buy with a whole bunch of kids, and
and they're like $120 an appointment, $150 in my area.
Yeah. And she's like, it really is an investment in marriage. Like, what is your marriage worth? What is your mental health worth? And so for her, it's a non-negotiable. And I was like, man, that's a really good point. And then I've seen friends struggle, right? I've seen friends who feel super down in the dumps and are feeling like crap inside and dragging their kids down with them, feeling, just this weight of life, and then investing in therapy and having it help so much. And so sometimes you have to not look at the price tag of things. And with it being, this is a great time to talk about this topic, because with it being like, if you're getting a tax return or you've just got a tax return, like, and you feel like you're struggling emotionally, get a good therapist, like put away a few $100s of that and save it so that you have some money to go towards that, or invest in, I don't know, there's so many great like self-development things out there. There's, if maybe you want to invest in a gym membership so that you can get some time away with the kids and go work out. I mean, or like even a home thing. Like, I have a Beachbody on Demand membership. It's $100 a year. And I take 30 minutes a day and I go in my basement and exercise. And
get
that
a
is
50-inch TV instead of the 75, and you can get your $100 Beachbody to do that on.
That's right. That's right. So what is it that you can, I mean, maybe there's some passion that you have that you've been wanting to learn. Maybe you've been wanting to learn how to start a business from home. Maybe you've been wanting to, I don't know, start
instrument. Yeah, an instrument, sewing, language, take that time, and take that time in the same way that you would, get up to take care of your kid no matter what, even if you had a crappy night.
Right. Because anything that you're investing in yourself with that is going to help you improve over time is going to give you more long-term fulfillment than buying crap, right?
Yep.
or buying something that's going to give you that like now break or whatever. So
Yep.
I think it is something to think about, especially as some of us are coming into a tax return. If you have one, write down some things that you would want to invest in yourself to help long-term, rather than thinking of like this quick hit, like Crystal said, to help you feel better right now. There's
maybe a cooking, we talked about in our last podcast, we talked about food, your
meal planning and groceries and all
meal
that.
planning. If you are struggling with that, get a meal planning service. I mean,
oh my gosh,
invest in
mm-hmm.
Invest in a meal planning service. There are all kinds of them that will like make the plans and send you the grocery list. Invest in a delivery service for your groceries.
Oh my gosh, even like a teenage girl to come over and fold your laundry.
Invest in something that will help you buy your time, or buy something to improve your mind, or teach you a skill, or or you could invest in something like our Focused and Fulfilled program. It's only $7.
I know, you can invest $7 in our Focused and Fulfilled in 5 days and learn tools to be able to feel more fulfilled every single day. Like,
yes, and to help with your focus. And really, once you get zoned in on your focus, then you do feel fulfilled. That's why it's called Focused and Fulfilled. So anything, and if you have stuff specifically that you know in your mind is what could help you start focusing on things. You hate cooking dinner, you really feel rejuvenated when you learn something, so get some books, invest in some books. So really, look at what you're investing into yourself, and you're worth more than just investing somebody else's ideas into your mind of like TV shows and things like that. Like, those are fine. I watch TV shows. I watch movies and stuff too. But remember that there's so much more out there than just that.
Right. And you're worth the time. You're worth making 30 minutes, even 60 minutes a day, which might sound like, oh my gosh, 60 minutes. Are you freaking crazy? I'm telling you, I don't know about you, Chris, but I spend more than 60 minutes a day to myself because I make it in the morning. And it is a sacrifice. But if I don't, I am definitely not as mentally stable. And I am not trying to like brag or whatever. I am extremely busy. Like, I have tons and tons of stuff on my plate constantly, and I make that time. Like, I feel like most people can make more time than they ever think they could.
I always feel like it's more of a sacrifice when you start making the sacrifice of, which is a sacrifice, so I guess I shouldn't air quote it, but of getting up early and getting that hour and whatnot. For me, and I'm pretty sure this is the same for Steph and for all of you out there, is when you find that you're sacrificing to get these things that are important to you done, like the exercise, even 15 minutes, set a timer. Actually, that's when I exercise, I do set it for 15 minutes. I only do 15 minutes of the exercise video, or I walk down the block and back. But take I just lost what I was thinking.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
sorry. I heard the kids talking about driving their truck in the other room, and it just flew out of my brain. Sorry.
It went. Well, let's just end by just challenging you to take 15 to 30 minutes for yourself tomorrow, today.
Oh, I remember.
And find something. Oh, go.
If you are not taking that 15 minutes of time and you make the sacrifice for that time, you are going to end up making that sacrifice elsewhere in the day, like with more frustration. You're going to be mad that you weren't able to get your stuff done. Then you're going to be like, it ends up snowballing. And by the end of the day, you feel like you never got anything done. That's always the start of it. So take the 5 minutes for yourself.
Yeah, it's true. And it actually ends up taking more than that amount of time that you frittered away anyway, because you weren't focused, right?
Yes.
So good. Awesome. Okay, well, that's all we wanted to talk to you guys about today. We don't want to keep this too long, but find something to invest in yourself in And
Yeah.
if you want to check out our Focused and Fulfilled in 5 days, go to busybossmama.com/focused. And we'd love to see you there. We'd love to hear your feedback, and we'd love for you to experience what it's like to get off the hamster wheel and feel more focused and fulfilled every day. So with that, love you much, guys, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
We're looking forward to see you over there.